Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Welcome to part 6 of the last day of Nano sprint marathon thing going on. Um, I am Haley Spence, known as on YouTube mostly as just Spence. You can call me either. I don't particularly mind. How is everybody doing today? Head it in the comments while we wait. Of course, Devin is here. Hello, Devin. Rosalind, hello. Manon? Is that right? Hopefully, you get to join in on all the sprints today. Get your 2K. I believe in you. Hello, hello, hi everybody. Oh, there's so many people. All right. How's everybody doing? And what's your word count at so far? How far are you from your goal? Are you doing nano? Are you pushing towards the end? Have you won? Let me know what's going on. I'm very, very interested. In the meantime, let's get started right away with a 20-minute sprint. All right, and we're just going to dive right in and get you going. How did everybody do? So we had some more people pop in. That was exciting. Um, finished the cover for another project. Yay. Love seeing that. Oh, shoot. Shush, 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 shush. All things must meet. All things must meet. Dana popped in. Hello. So did Sage. Devin come in with her hashtag, or with their hashtag. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, let me know how you all did, what you did. I did a couple of household maintenance things. We jumped into that first stream pretty fast, partly because I had a loaf of sourdough in the oven that needed to come out right that moment. My timing is terrible. But after that, I got myself a big old glass of water and started working on the calendar for my work in progress for December, which is, I get really excited to talk about it. It's a vampire Christmas romance, Hallmark style. So it is just cheesy and cute and like, yeah. See, Devin did some research. What did you research? Laura got 585 words. Yes. Cheese toast and tea. That sounds good. Ooh, yes. I love Skillshare. Yes, it has been really fun to work on. I just finished the beat sheet yesterday, day before yesterday. I didn't do anything yesterday other than try to contain the madness that is my house. You guys know those memes where it's the camera's field of view is the only thing in the world that's clean in this person's house, and it's like an age of COVID thing. That's my life for real right now. Give you just a preview because I'm on my laptop, so swivel. This is not normal, for the record. My bookshelf got moved from that side of the room to this side of the room while I needed to clean up my kitchen from Thanksgiving, and I got really overwhelmed and only did half of both of these things. Making coffee and did dishes. That's what I was doing during the last stream, was the sourdough and dishes. So my kitchen is clean now. Clean enough, at least. It's functional. I can make dinner. Still waiting to see what Devin did his research on. But yeah, so on Monday I was working on my vampire Christmas romance, which I'm calling Project VCR. That is the working title for mine. But I did the beat sheet out of the Romancing the Beat, which I really recommend if you are getting into romance writing or you're struggling with it at all. It really helped. Like, I really stopped spinning wheels and like nailing. The only thing I had for the story going into it was it's a vampire Christmas romance. And then going through that helped me like turn it a vague half idea into an actual plot, which that's new. I struggle with plot. So having any assistance is good. Yeah. Has anybody in the chat used this before or thought about using it before or have their own system that's entirely different? Because this one is pretty universal and I really like it, but I can see how it's pretty limiting and it's fairly rigid in how some of the things work. So I do plan on in future romances and stuff, I want to see about deviating from that. Ginny just got Romancing the Beat. It's It is really good. Like it's a very thin book and it gets right to the point. Like mine wants to open. There's the overview with the beat sheet on it, then, chapters. And then she has a sample of one of her own stories, which really helps. Let's see. And then Keep the Faith, the Kennedy Project. I'm interested in that. Is that on is that talking to Sako about the portraits thing, or is that about the romance stuff? Because I will write that down if that's about romance. I should if it's about portraiture, because that's not my artistic strong suit by any stretch, by any means and or logic. Notes. Writing it down. All right. Oh, good. Novel writing. All right. Ooh, yay! That's the one that you're aiming for 2K today on? That's you, right? I paid attention. Yep, that is totally you. And you were getting really close. So let's dive into another sprint then and get going. All right, let's get going in 3, 2, 1, sprint! All right. How did everybody do? Let's see. Woo, words. Devin says he was looking into sites that list open calls for submissions. That is a rabbit hole. And gave us a awesome list. So go check that out. How did everybody else do? Let me know. I want to hear. You're good. Go. Scoot.
I won't get your pizza.
Fine. That was my tiny human, who is tiny nerd. Laura got 583. That is awesome. What is your word count goal for today? I think you said earlier. How close are we getting you? I'm scrolling back through comments to see. Still need a little over 6K. So after the 2 sprints, you're down to needing just shy of 5K? Let me know if I'm right. Gonna answer a message. Might have a co-host in a minute. So for me that time, I did a rough draft of the calendar for Project VCR, my Vampire Christmas Romance. And then I checked that one because everything was still happening too fast. Case is sitting at, so just over 5K, right? Yes. I can math. I can math. I am going to try to get at least 3, maybe even 4 sprints during this time. I really suggest everybody needs to back up their work, hit save, like manually click save as, and like save an extra copy somewhere else, because it is the last day of NaNoWriMo, and the last thing we want is like your project to evaporate, because no matter how close or how far you are, all of your words deserve to exist, even if you're going to throw them away later. Anyways, you get to decide when you're going to throw them away. So back up your work. Make sure you are drinking enough water. You are... Okay, I've got my giant glass right here. Make sure you drink some water. Stand up, stretch your limbs. I did that during my sprint. And... oh, look, we have... Hi!
Hello.
Joining me.
Hello. I'm having a weird day today.
So am I, that's fine. Like, I'm streaming on my channel. I don't do that.
I'm doing weird sketchy sketches because I'm just in a mood. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like 7 different innuendos in one picture.
Yeah. I'm just doing sketchies. I should be over here figuring stuff out for the vampire stories, but you know.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm working on my vampire book.
Yeah. I at least have names for all the characters now, so
that is good.
That's progress, I think.
I mean, I'm sure that there is a book out there named where all the characters are named just like character 1 and character 2. And
actually, doesn't that happen at one point in the middle of Ulysses?
I've never read Ulysses.
Oh, it's such a weird book.
Right. Like I went through my weirdness in like 6th grade when I read like all of these in like a month.
Mm.
And I'm still kind of burnt out on weirdness. I cannot get through. Do I not have oh
No,
no, I be like, I cannot get through this. I cannot understand what he's talking about.
yeah.
I mean, I have an excuse with the Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul, in that when I lived with my parents, it was my bathroom read. Well, simultaneously, it was my mother's bathroom read. So we kept like, I don't know how this happened, but she thought my bookmark was her bookmark.
Oh no.
Well, like I'd open it back up and it'd be on like a totally different page and be like,
Oh, oh no, that's terrible. That's not good. That's not good.
I've a very small like tolerance for weird anymore.
Then avoid Ulysses. Like he just wanted to prove, like people started calling him a genius. So he was just like, I don't know, let's test this. So that book literally goes through every possible literary genre that you can go. At one point, it's an epic poem, then it's a play, it is a musical at one point, like literally with like sheet music and everything. Like it just keeps blah 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 blah. Like every chapter is a different literary form.
You know, I might have to do that though, because like, fuck you and your rules. I do what I want.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My, like that speaks to me on a very deep level.
Definitely. It is just a really bizarre book to read. And like, it's the greatest thing to call people out on because a lot of people like to be like, well, I read it and I understood it. Like, oh, what did you think when it became a play? And then you just like see their face go like that. You're like, you didn't read it. I caught you. Oh, it gets weird.
Well, I think your art looks amazing. And it
Yeah.
really is. I like it a lot.
I'm trying to get the courage up to start putting them up on my Instagram, but
what? Hi, Eva.
oh.
Not me. I quit ages ago.
Technically, I'm a super winner because I quit on like day 5.
I still was holding out hope that I would somehow magically get my outline drafted 3 times and then the entire novel written at like day 18. I was still like, I'm gonna do this. And then like later that night, I'm like, I'm not. I want to work on my vampire romance.
Well, the project that I was working on was a lit RPG story, and I love it. But I realized I didn't have a firm enough grasp of the rules of the game they were playing to be able to write them playing the game. So I need to get the game figured out first. I might. There's a good chance of that.
Like I have an entirely separate Instagram account just for my art.
I have a hard enough time remembering to post on one Instagram account. So
yeah, I recently found out how to schedule my Instagram posts, and I am so stupid happy because that means I can use like my real camera and not my phone camera because my phone is a potato.
Sorry, I just imagined making a camera obscure out of a potato.
I would do it. I think I've done it before, literally.
I almost like started shouting out to the hubby to see if he had done that before because that definitely sounds like something he would have done.
I made one of those when I was in like 5th grade for a science fair project. But it wasn't with a potato. I think I ate potatoes while I made it though. I mean, me eating potatoes is nothing new. I ate potatoes today.
Oh, the potatoes.
We do have one winner in a show. That I didn't mean to click on Jay. Sorry.
I agree.
I'll get the hang of this eventually. Courtney is a winner. Okay, cool. Would you like to come say hi? Yeah. The mini nerd wants to say hi. This is Carly.
Hello.
Oh, you want to rent her? Nope, because you don't get to meet most of the internet. Because I don't trust you.
Oh, okay.
All right, I love you. Play your game.
I'm going to say I'm playing Pokemon Sword. It's the best game. It's like the best Pokemon game in the world. Also, there's another one going to share that we don't got. Also,
Okay, that's enough.
Crown Tundra.
I feel like such a failure as a nerd because I've never played a Pokemon game.
I haven't either.
And it makes me feel like I've utterly failed in my geekdom. Like,
I don't see Instagram as stressful. Instagram is my happy place, but that's because I get like nothing but positive feedback on Instagram because I don't have enough of a like. I have just enough that I'm hitting the people pay attention and like it, but I don't have enough reach yet for people to have bad things to say.
Instagram's my happy place because of all the people that I follow over there. But when it comes time to like sharing stuff, like, like panic. I used to do the self portraits every day, and I kind of miss doing that, but they were a lot of work.
Yeah, I always support people getting on Instagram and sharing their own stuff because I can hear him shouting in the other room, and I'm just like, what the heck? Are you talking to me? No.
I have a grumpy dog over in the corner of the room who's just like, I forgot to turn the heater on in the office because while it's technically connected to the central heating, it's technically connected to the central heating. And she wants to be back here because it's the cat-free room. So she doesn't have to deal with cats, and she loves that, but it's not warm yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's my fault, and she knows it. It's not warm yet. And so she's just sitting over there, like curled up in the tightest little ball, looking up at me going,
you did this.
You did this.
You did this to me.
I could be warm.
All right, so let's get another sprint going because I want to have at least 3, maybe even 4. We'll see. All right. You want to shout us off?
Sure, why not? All right.
As loud as you can.
So I will say, make sure you're hydrating. I am not yet because I have to have the coffee or my life will not be a part of me. So hydrate. One of the things Jules has been saying a lot lately, which I totally agree with, do a posture check because I'm really bad at writing like this and I should be like this. So make sure you're checking your posture.
And you're stretching your limbs.
Oh, and don't forget to show your allegiances. Oh man, today we are going to get the words, whatever they're in, the creativity is going to flow. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do something.
right, we're back. How did we all do? Let me know. I want to know. I want to know where Charlie went. Hope she comes back. I just about have one character's timeline right now. Good. It's good.
I successfully muted like everything that could be muted in the history of muting. So I tapped like 3 things. I'm like, then I heard you say, maybe Charlie will be back. And we're like, wait, why am I not? Oh, crap.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Yeah, I have 1,000 tabs open at all times too. So
What? Why am I not there? Ah! Oh my goodness.
how did you do?
Spent a large portion of that with the hubby going through surveillance footage for trying to figure out what freaked our employees out the other night.
Oh, something creepypasta or
Oh yeah,
being an asshole?
I've made no bones about it. Our restaurant is kind of the haunted, and
I love that. I want to
one
go to
of
the restaurant.
one of the people have really upset one of the spirits there. And so she keeps texting us like, I know you guys are just messing with me, but stop it. It scares me. Stop. And like, we'll go back and look at the video and you can like hear like whispering and all this other stuff. The other night, she texted us and we went back to check out the video and we haven't figured out what it is, but the timers over by the stove start randomly making sound. And it's not even like the timer's over, like dee 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 sound. Like they just start like dee 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 dee. Just start like randomly like making sound. And you can hear her in the background, just like the hell, what the
Leave me alone.
And so. Yeah, we've got we've got a growing collection of like my personal favorite one was when one of the spooks spilled a beer on our chef because like you can clearly see it because he's sitting at the bar and you can clearly see it that there's a bottle that just jumps straight up in the air, like nobody's near it. It just jumps straight up in the air, hits the bar, knocks his glass over, and goes right into his lap. And it's just like, and he knows it like instantly. He's just like, that stupid whistler, roar! Like he just like what happens because like everybody knows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I got a little bit distracted.
I mean, with fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to figure out what they're saying because we can hear the whispering in a lot of them, but we can't make out words.
Send it to me. Let me see. I am around a lot of ghost haunting stuff.
I'm gonna try to clean up the audio. So, yeah. I grew up in a house
that was very haunted, and then moved into a house that wasn't haunted when we got there. But don't let like 4 to 6 year olds, may have even been 3 at the time. Don't let 3-year-olds watch Spirited Away.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a problem.
Like, with her heart, she watched it, and then the scene where no face is on, and the character invites him in. She gets up. The spirit gets up, walks to the front door, pulls it open, pushes the screen door open, and says, "Come on in, friends."
Nice. So yep, that'll do
it. Proceed like the worst haunting I've ever had for like the next freaking month. Like it was bad. Like faucets turning on and off by themselves, upstairs and down. We had 3 plates kamikaze their way out of the kitchen cupboards. Just like cupboard closed and then shatter on the kitchen floor.
When we first moved into this house, every time somebody said the F word, the toilet flushed.
That's amazing.
It
See,
was, it was like,
fun. Like it went from being like the faucet to like unpleasant and dangerous really fast in our house, because it went from like the faucets fucking with you to the plates throwing themselves out of the kitchen cupboards to we got bed bugs. That my first ever like night, my first and so far only ever sleep paralysis episode.
those are not your friend. I don't like those.
Yeah.
No, I don't like those at all.
And most of the activity was like in the kitchen. So I'm sleeping on my couch because there are bed bugs upstairs and I need to like sleep somewhere. I'm sleeping on my couch and there's a window right here and a window right here. And the window here is like perpendicular to a window in the kitchen. So I wake up and I'm facing that window and I look out and I see just this giant shrouded, like stupid tall black thing staring intently in my kitchen window. And it's 3 a.m. And then it whooshes around to in the front door and then it hovers over me for a few seconds and I can't breathe or think or scream.
Nope.
And then then like my husband rolls over and it all stops. And I put something on the TV and just stay awake the rest of the night because I go upstairs the next morning and I get my rosary that my sister made for me when my cousin died, that was blessed like the same week as her funeral. And I just like hang that on the doorway to the kitchen because fuck you. But as I'm turning to leave, a wine bottle on top of the fridge, like pretty securely there, throws itself into the sink and explodes.
Oh.
And like that's when I was sleep deprived because I had a 4-month-old who was doing his first like issue with sleep or 4-month-old doing his first issues with sleep regression, and object permanence was developing, so I was getting 45 minutes of sleep at a time anyways, and now you're throwing shit at me. So I turned around and I said, you can stay, but you need to stop fucking with shit. Otherwise, get the hell out. And then I like threw open the back door and said, fuck off. And nothing happened again while we lived there.
Yay. And I have to say, Devin, that was actually the first idea for the YouTube channel. Like long time ago, we actually bought cameras and stuff because we were going to do a ghost hunting YouTube channel. We just never did it.
My sister and I want to do stuff like that, but like we are both moms. And our game plan for if we need a babysitter is each other. So if we both need to be somewhere at the same time, the kids must come.
So much nope. Yeah, it's I know so many people that have had like so many weird and wacky experiences. Like I can't even start with like all the weird and wacky experiences I've had in my life. And like it feels almost anomalous when I meet somebody who's just like, yeah, I've never had anything weird happen in my life. I'm just like, how are you the blessed one? Like
my husband actually spent like most of the when I first met him, he lived in a place that had previously been the poorhouse and like had been converted into apartments. So it's this big brick building, like set back from the road. You can't access the 3rd story because they have boarded it off and padlocked it. And because it used to be the poorhouse, there's a grave site. But no one knows where it is.
Like God only knows what's buried on the land that we're currently on, because this was my family homestead. Like the house that I'm living in was part of the family homestead.
Mm-hmm.
And God knows what's under the ground here.
Right.
Like Like, there's a road I will not drive over because they just moved the headstones and like paved over my family.
Rude.
Yeah. So like,
Build a bridge.
there's an entire road in town that like I won't go through, but like my family were like not the most respectable lot for a very long time. So God knows what's under this ground.
Yeah, I've lived in this town my whole life, and it's been here for like we've been here for several generations at this point. But instead of like we have an ancestral home spot, it's like dwindled down to most. I don't think any of us own property anymore, which is pretty depressing. But at the same time, I would be terrified to live where any of my ancestors lived.
So my great, what was it? Great. There may be one more great in there. I get lost in numbers. Grandfather fought in the Civil War, and all the soldiers who fought for the Union were granted a homestead as part of their compensation. And so when it was originally in Kansas, but then a tornado ate their house the first year that they were there, and they applied to the government and they're like, we think God doesn't want us to be here. Can we have a different one? And well, I mean, they built a house and then a tornado ate it. And the government was like, sure, fine.
we'll yeah, one's good. We'll give you a do-over.
Because I mean, it's hard to argue. Like, we finally got out here. We finally got our house built. And then the figure from the sky went, and the house was gone. I don't think we're supposed to be here.
I live in southern Michigan, so it's a very weird place. Like regionally, we don't make a lot of sense because technically we're part of the Midwest. But most of Midwest is like flat acres and acres of corn. And there are acres and acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of corn around here, but also trees and mud that are trying to eat you.
Yes.
So it's like we're part Midwest, part Appalachia, and a little bit of Canada.
See, I live in the Ozarks, and the Ozarks is also very confused because they like to think that they're Southern when we weren't, because we weren't allowed to take sides during the war. So no, we weren't a Southern state. We were never a Southern state, and our culture is very different from Southern culture in a lot of ways. So because we're hill folk, and they just don't want to admit to being hill folk.
Mm-hmm. And like Michigan is like bottom of the hill folk. It's a day trip to get to the actual Appalachian Hills from here. And it's very textured. And this is a good way to phrase it with Michigan. Like it's a freaking frozen swamp.
We're just a swamp. So
Yeah, it's cold outside for me.
It's 37 outside here today.
It's never when you're in Michigan, you're never more than like it's either 1 or 5 miles away from a freshwater source. Like in my town, you're never more than 5 blocks away from one. It's like we are a mountain-ish, foresty, Midwestern swamp with all the elder gods way too close to the surface because of the glaciers.
See, that's the only reason like Missourians haven't taken over the world is because we're too boring for elder gods to hang out here. Like we have the ambition and the grit, but like we just like nobody wants to be here long enough to plan anything.
And like it's an interesting thing because like even my very like they still go to church Catholic friends are like, Yeah, I go around this entire block to pass by this one spot on my way home because the trees right there are not friendly trees.
I still like arguing with the local priests. That's one of my favorite things because I'm like, I haven't attended mass in like 16 years and I'm still more Catholic than you are. And they get mad because I am.
At the last time I attended a mass was August. It was my grandma's funeral, and it was weird. I think it was weirder because of the pandemic, because like most of us were wearing masks, but it was really nice because that was the church I went to like as a child, and where I had honestly the most friendly, like, and that's weird to say that my experiences in Catholic Sunday school were more wholesome than anywhere else I've ever gone.
But you know, I was almost a priest, right? Like
I
that
have
was,
heard that.
yeah. So like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for Cardinal Ratzinger, but I'm just glad his dirty laundry is finally coming out for the world because one, it makes me sound less crazy because I've been ranting about him for like 20 years. And two, people need to know what kind of a horrible person he was. But yeah, it was, yeah. I just hope that we can get some of these cleared up. I don't know what to do with them because, as I often say, if I have a second YouTube channel, then one of my YouTube channels will die. Like,
Yeah.
I live in the world of like the Highlander world. I can do one thing, and that's it.
Right, like I can't even remember. I think the last time I posted a video on my channel was mid-October because I was trying to do Inktober where I did the video every day. And I got maybe I think I'll be happy if I got like a whole I got a whole ass week into this and then said fuck it. But no, I did a month ago. I had a couple of like, this is what I'm doing in October when when I was optimistic and believed in myself. And
optimism. I remember being like, I can do anything because I'm doing everything. Yay! And now here I sit with like 3 finished novels and a whole bunch of novellas that I just need to do stuff with, going, why should I bother? Like, nobody really cares. Like,
yeah, I was my issue in October was there's been a lot of stuff in my ear that's really like been building that I think from looking back on it, I think from like July 4th to literally Halloween was some sort of varying levels of disassociation for me. Like the 4th of July weekend, my parents moved out and there was a big fight because we were supposed to move downstairs and we decided not to at the very last minute. And they got very mad at us about that because they were going to leave a bunch of their crap behind, partly for us and partly to make us like deal with for them. And then after that, there was like shortly after that, my grandma got really sick and we knew she wasn't going to get better. And then August 6th, she died. And like there was a brief moment in September that I remember really clearly because my husband's birthday is the day before mine. So we went out for our birthdays. And I remember that really well. I don't remember what I did most of the rest of the time, like all the way through October 31st, which was really good. That day was good. I yelled at my brother-in-law. I had an actually good conversation with my dad. I got a really good tarot reading from the creator Carol Brown, she was doing tarot reads on Midnight Masquerade on Tamara Wood's channel.
Right, yeah.
Like, and I got one of the readings, and she was like, "I'm gonna DM you, Spence." But it was very good and very much needed. And like the next morning, I woke up and it was like a clock had been reset in my brain. And I have been like slowly progressing upward since, but I'm still playing catch up from all the like shit I should have been doing since January. Laura, are we doing another sprint? We should. I'm going to see, maybe we'll do like a 10-minute to close it out because we've done 3. So we've had like an hour's worth of streaming. So I'm going to see if I can find a 10-minute one.
Oh man. Yeah, I really don't. I kept trying to warn everybody what November was going to be like for me because my brain shuts down every November.
Oh
Like
no.
what it does. And like everybody thought I was just like, oh, you're just saying that. You're just saying that. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I'll be fine. Like tomorrow, hopefully today, because World Ember starts today. And I am not quitting World Ember. I'm doing it.
I'll put it on the couch and I'll charge it when I can get to the Switch.
Charger.
Yeah. Do you want to come say hi again?
Yeah. Who's here now?
It's still just me and Miss Charlie.
Oh.
Hello.
About the ghosties in her restaurant.
All the ghosties.
Oh, we're not real.
There are 2. Wait, they just don't happen to bother us here.
They're actually not real.
No, they are. They're just not any here.
I just think the Whistler's upset that nobody sings for him anymore.
But then made news here.
Well, that's just a comment I got clicked up. See? Bam.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, you gonna go back and watch more? What are you watching now? Digimon?
No, not Digimon 02. That's like, but Digimon 02 is like the second Digimon thing in the series. The second Digimon show in the series that I'm starting to like because I want to play first one.
Okay, we'll go watch that.
Not right now, just watching Holland's Out.
Okay, go enjoy that then. All right. He's been very starved for attention lately.
Hopefully I can figure out my overarching plot soon. That's what I'm going
10 minutes to do it. I want to hear what it is in 10 minutes.
to...
All right.
That is my cat desperately wanting to get into the cat-free zone. If you can hear all of the like pained yowling.
Yep.
She's literally outside the door right now, just crying her little heart out.
I want attention. Oh,
Yes. She's not allowed near my desk anymore. She knows what she did.
what did she do?
Let's just say she may have gotten in while I was sleeping, ripped up a couple notebooks into like little shreddy pieces, broke some of the tchotchkes that I had around, and like almost chewed through an electrical cable, which would have been very bad.
Rampaged.
Yes. So cat-free zone.
All right. We're going to
Not allowed in here no more.
Last 10-minute sprint. So that way we can get out of here on time and everybody can take a break before they move on to the next stream. Because breaks are important, people. They help your brain.
Yep.
All right, so let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Sprint! right, that wraps up our last sprint, bringing us like right to the edge of the time there. How did everybody do? Let me know how everybody did for that sprint. It was short, and how you did for the day so far, and my stream. What everybody do?
I'm trying to figure out what being a seventh child means in the setting, because there are options from mythology, and I love how contradictory they are.
Right. I also got out of my kitchen because I made it today, and I wanted to show off my sourdough baby.
Nice.
Like the bottom is that hot mess. So, really, you're not supposed to have seams down there? Who cares? I don't. But it smells amazing.
I think the closest I'm going to get to starting sourdough around here is just continuing to feed my bigga, because when you actually do sourdough around here, the sourdough that's in the air is very bitter. The natural yeast around here is very bitter, and it tastes bad. So, I've been working on a bigga, which, if you don't know what that is, it starts with a traditional yeast, but you put part of it back each time, and it keeps growing and fermenting, and it slowly sours over time. But it's hopefully not going to get as
Could you do that with like any bread loaf? I've been like, you said that before, and I was wondering, like, could I do that with my oatmeal bread? That
yeah,
has
yeah, for a lot of breads you can do that. There are two things that I've kind of become obsessed with lately, and that one is the bigga, and the other is I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because my Mandarin is terrible. It's this almost choux paste roux thing that you do with a portion of the flour before you make the bread. It's actually cooked in like milk. You cook the flour in like some milk before you actually let it cool back down. And
before.
It keeps the I'll find a video for you and send it to you. It keeps the bread from going stale. Like it's like magic moisture for the bread. And it's just this one simple extra thing. And then once you have it, you can add it to any bread loaf. You just substitute by volume. So if you'd put like a cup less flour, if you put a cup of it in, you put a cup less flour, kind of thing.
Okay. And I love volume. I don't have a mixer, so I mean, I have a mixer. I don't have a scale. So like doing stuff by weight is like, no. I will convert it in my head. Okay. That's what I do with the sourdough. I'm like, maybe that feels about right.
The problem is the bread I grew up with, I will never have again. And see, when I was a kid, we had this wonderful wood stove, and my dad, because it was actually a contained wood stove that kind of sat out away from the wall by about like a foot and a half. And Dad used to prove his breads behind it. So they would pick up this like subtle smokiness. Like they weren't smoky, but like they'd pick up a little bit of that wood smoke from the proximity as they proved. And like all bread tastes wrong to me because it's missing that flavor, and I've not found a way to like put it back in. It's so subtle. It was such a subtle like smokiness.
I want a wood burning stove so bad because like I'd cook stew on it. Like roast beef and stew, just like put the Dutch oven on top of it and say, see it in 2 days.
Like, I'm not joking when I say, like, I grew up in the 1890s. Like, I did it. Like, I remember
back to the 1790s.
Yeah, I
but with like modern sensibilities and toilets.
Yep. Eventually. Yeah. I had to use an outhouse when I was a kid a couple times.
Laura got 346 words, and Carrie has been setting up the desk calendar for December and decorating January. And you were even further ahead than me. And like, this is not my bullet journal. That's my sketchbook. They look the same.
I found a weak silver Sharpie the other day, so that because all my journals are the same journal because I bought a pack of them. I needed to be able to tell them apart.
I didn't do that because I'm cheap. But I wanted them to look the same. So I got my Moleskine sketchbook, which I love this thing. It takes so many of my things so well.
$45 for 10 notebooks.
Oh, that is
$5 a piece on Amazon. I love these. They're the Paper H notebooks. I use them all the time. $4.50 a piece. Like, you can't beat that.
This was $15. I'm pretty sure my Moleskine was $15, and I really don't regret it because I need a good sketchbook because I am a freaking madwoman with the way I do art. So this is just watercolor, and a totally different style. Like, you got to be able to take all the things on the same page. Like, I got gouache and watercolor and markers.
Yeah, I haven't tried using anything like that in these, so I don't know how they would stack up for that. I don't know.
And I think Moleskines are too expensive for me for like everyday use. Like, for an everyday sketchbook, it's perfect because, again, I do whatever the hell I want in my sketchbook. And ideally, there's no bleed through.
I am just so great for this thing for sketchbooks because it actually saves money because of the number of art supplies I don't have to buy.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I want one so bad.
Like, technically, this isn't mine. This is when the hubby's laptop died. We got him one of these because it would work, and we share it so it stays back in the office. But like, when I have like my weird Papa 3 phases, I can just like do a quick drawing of him and be like, "Oh, I'm in love," and the hubby just looks over and goes, "Again," and I'm like, "Yes," and he just kind of like leaves and he's happy.
Yeah, like I do. There is a lot I want to be doing with my art that I can't because I don't have the tools. And like, I technically have a drawing pad, but it's the Wacom Intuos Bamboo.
Okay, I've got one of those.
And I got the little one.
Yep. Yeah, I got the little one.
This is that big, and it works. And I've done some really cool stuff with it, but my hand needs to see where the pen tip is. Because it's been just too long. I've been too long without that like skill.
Because that's the thing about writing about doing the tablets. That because I have a Wacom too, but I like seeing exactly where the pen tip is, like.
And it's been a struggle because like I made this. My cactus sticker. I have several of those on my Etsy, but that's all I have. And there's so much stuff I want to do. We're having the digital side of it makes it possible because those are like 4x6 watercolors. And the sticker, I made like real size stickers of them, but I don't know how to turn them into effect. I just need the right tool for the things.
I'm just trying not to go down the rabbit hole because like most of my art is like I get bored and I just draw one of the papas because like I have a problem. Like I admit I have a problem, but I may or may not have like giant folders of like just pictures of the various papas.
I've been very big into art for a long time. When I was in high school, I spent literally like 25% of my time in school in art class.
Yeah, I went to an art magnet school, And yeah, I spent most of my time either doing translation work over in the language department or doing my multimedia art over in the art wing until it was deemed too controversial because, too many skulls and dead things and blood. But
Yeah. My school was like a typical high school, but it had block scheduling. So a class was an hour and a half. And there was a grant or a donation system set up that as much money as the sports teams got, the arts got too.
Nice.
We had it had to be spread across. Like we had the art classes, we had some computer classes that qualified in the art thing. Like she taught how to use Photoshop and Dreamweaver and stuff like that. And then we had, yeah, I took that class. Dreamweaver is not fun. But then we also had band and an orchestra, which was just the string instruments, and a choir. And so it had to be spread across all of that. So it was still kind of tight, but we had so much creative freedom. She had examples of don't do this in it, and it was you cannot use condom wrappers on your art. You cannot use
that's something they would have to say at my school. Yeah.
you cannot use pro-drug propaganda on your work. And she's like, and when we do play, I will find where the bongs are.
We actually, my senior year, I think it was my senior year. It's either my junior or senior year. They actually argued successfully, and our drama department did the Rocky Horror Show.
Ooh.
Because it was a legitimate stage play that was performed in London. Not the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the actual musical that preceded it. And so, there may have been a Frankenfurter and a Magenta and a floating Coca-Cola machine that had an Eddie pop out. That's definitely the school that I went to.
We didn't really have a drama department. There was a arts festival in March every year where there was a big old musical play put on. I tried to get an actual drama club going, and we were shot down because there was already the one play, and it's but there's so many of us who want to do stage stuff but not do musicals, and there is so much favoritism and talent being squandered because it's a musical. 3 out of the 4 years that I did the musical, because I did stage managing for it, it was the same 4 people getting the leads.
Yeah.
Because it was a relatively small school. There was a very limited number of people who could do the things. Ugh. It was frustrating. My love for theater was never able to be fostered. And if we had a drama program.
Oh, you would have loved our school. Our school was hilarious because the jocks thought that they were in high school, so they should run the place, and they didn't realize what school they were going to. Because we still had a football team. It was very much a token. A football team and a baseball team. And they tried to get all I am Spartacus one day, tried to start a food fight during lunch, and Sean in his glorious 6'5" with a foot tall mohawk on top of that just stood up, started stomping his feet, and every other person stood up with him, and we just stared them down, stomping our feet in unison. I just did not know what to do because they were what kind of a weird cult compound are we in? It's we own the skill. We control the arts. That's the head of the photography club over there. And don't even get me started on the German club over there. They have plans. It was great. I loved it.
The photography club, they know how to poison you, and the poisons are on campus.
It was great. And actually, we got away with everything because we may have been hanging out at a place we shouldn't have been, and may or may not have gotten a picture of our principal coming out of a strip club with somebody who wasn't his wife. So we also got away with like a lot of things that we probably shouldn't have, because we were just like, it would be terrible if your wife would get a picture. We were terrible.
We had an actually really cool principal at my high school. Like during pep rallies, this dude, like he always had his coffee cup, just walking around everywhere, always a coffee cup, even at like events. But the only time I ever saw him without his coffee cup was when he did the worm at a pep rally.
Okay, so we weren't allowed to have pep rallies.
Did the worm. This like 55-year-old dude, gray hair, tie, suspenders, did the worm across the gym. And it's like, we weren't sure if we were more shocked that he put his coffee cup down or he could do it.
See, we weren't allowed to have pep rallies because my junior year in high school, no, my freshman year in high school, here, I age myself, was the year the Smells Like Teen Spirit video came out. And so we talked them into letting us have a band for the first pep rally of the year. And the cheerleaders all came out in the black cheerleader outfits with the red anarchies on them. And we may have reenacted the Smells Like Teen Spirit video at the very first pep rally, and they banned pep rallies for like 4 years in school. Because we had a riot broke out. We're like, no, we're dancing. That's not dancing. That's a riot.
It's a riot. There's smells and stuff.
So, yeah, I'm completely missed out on the high school pep rally thing, because we may have had the ultimate pep rally for our first pep rally and then never again.
Yeah. We've gone over by 15 minutes, so if you're still in this chat, you might want to go take your break now. The next stream actually starts in 15 minutes, so I'm going to end the broadcast. And hopefully, if you haven't won yet and you're actually doing it, unlike me and Miss Charlie, you should hopefully win. I believe in you. Get her done.
You can do it. Give Winkler the bees.
Pitter patter.
Let's get at her.